Alright. Impromptu, welcome back to Dark Hearth.
Yay.
So now that I'm down to one graphics card, what do you guys feel like doing?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I don't know if I'm actually going to be stuck here, but for now I'm down to one graphics card. At least I know my display driver can't fail again.
That's not entirely true.
Well, it's not going to fail from the same reason.
I guess.
I should switch my cards and just be like... Because that fixed it last time. Because one was just... I think one just gets... Since it's the primary, just gets overused.
Yep.
Anyways, Neelis, what are you up to for the next...
So, you were explaining to me what I found on the bridge after talking to Jaren.
Yeah, you learned a little bit about interstellar travel, using the Geller field, navigation in the warp, and that kind of stuff. Nothing of any particular use to you necessarily, but it was kind of useful for any spacefaring you plan to do in the future.
Oh, cool.
So what are you going to do for the last 3 days of your voyage?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see. The last couple of days, I know on the last day, the final day. We'll get there in a second. You know, I'll just kind of chill out on the bridge again for the last 2 days, and then just kind of go over weapons, armor, all that good stuff.
Alright. So, last day, what do you want to do with your weapons and armor and stuff?
Clean them and
Alright.
make sure that they are functioning and ready.
Good to go. Good. Stubber, anything you want to do in particular?
Nope.
Alright. So as you guys make your way towards the outer orbital of Omicron 71-DX, the ship comes into minor turbulence as it begins getting finally reattached into a new gravity well. The captain so valiantly decides to post on the PA system. Crew, we're about to depart to Omicron. Anyone getting off, please go into the dropship. All essential crew, please stay aboard. And then he just kind of flicks off. You guys make your way towards the deorbiting vessel. And, yeah. I don't think any of you have the training, because, or I don't think any of you have been on a deorbiting vessel before.
That would be
I
true.
believe I... Wait.
Or would the... No, because
Yes,
sure
just
I
on those
have
shuttles.
some sort of training.
What?
1 second.
Well, I can drive... Oh, no, never mind.
Where is that one? Stubber. Shipwise, navigation, stellar, and pilot spacecraft.
Nope.
Are basic skills. This is something different?
Yep.
Emma. Okay then. Proceed.
Alright. You get into a small, cramped, and very uncomfortable little shuttle. The seats are hard metal, with some heavily padded straps to keep you from, you know, jostling around. As the bay doors to the ship kind of hiss shut, a man walks by and says that he'll give you a sedative because the trip down is pretty rough, if you would like. If not, then you can proceed as normal.
Oh, I'm good.
You good?
I can
Nicholas?
handle it.
I don't get travel sickness, so I'm good.
All right.
Perk of
As it
Voidborn.
as the ship kicks off from the main vessel, you guys begin the slow fall planet side. You feel as you begin to enter the atmosphere and the pressure pushes against the landing vessel. It gets very rough and starts bouncing you guys around like crazy. Can you both make a toughness test for me?
Nihilus starts like, yeah.
Well, take the
He's having
toughness
fun.
test first, and then tell me if you start going, yeah!
Good.
Good.
What?
Good.
That sucks.
Can you both
because
roll 1d5?
I actually really like that kind of stuff.
I know, me too.
Like on airplanes when we hit turbulence, I'm usually the guy who's like,
Well, that's convenient. Just so you guys know, as soon as you hit ground, you have a -10. You'll feel pretty, well, we'll just roleplay it. So yes, you guys hit massive amounts of turbulence, more than you guys have usually encountered in all of your travels. As it jostles you guys around, you slam your head against the heavy metal seats and eventually make your way landside. The bay doors open and you are unclasped from your heavy padded seats. Very, very lightheaded. For the next 2 hours, all intelligence tests will be made with a -10.
Would that be considered travel sickness?
Deorbiting sickness?
Travel
Yeah.
sickness? I have Void Custom, which makes me immune to travel sickness.
oh,
I don't know if that counts for being in the ship.
In addition, zero and low gravity environments are not considered difficult terrain for me. That
Is
is
your
a perk
void
of
to travel sickness. You're not
Hmm.
in space. The idea of that is like if a ship starts doing heavy maneuvers, your body can orient itself. Like you don't get the whole seasickness of like all of a sudden the ship does a 180 and you're walking on the roof. That's what they mean when they're talking about space sickness. Like you're good in a 0G environment. That's what they mean by that. You have a -10 for 2 hours.
eh.
Deal with it.
Okay,
You're void accustomed, not landfall accustomed.
but space travel,
Yeah. Doesn't
that makes sense.
well the idea for Voidborn is like you're good in space. Like you would be fine spending your entire life on a spacecraft. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're good with all aspects of it. Because most people who work on space shuttles or spaceships never come down. They literally just stay in space their entire lives. That's what they're getting at. You're good at the 0G. Anyways,
Okay.
you guys make landfall in a small dirt pitch. As you make your way out, there's a small kind of mechanical chariot sort of a thing waiting for you. Neelis, since you did some research, you realize from the surrounding area that you are a little ways outside of Shishunin or Beta Dex, the Farid city.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, so anyways, as you guys are making your way off of the ship, a couple of the other passengers kind of laugh at your woozy stumbling off of the ship, and one guy kind of jostles Neelis a little bit, adding to his increasing feeling of nausea.
Good.
as you exit the ship and start heading towards your mechanical chariot, a tech priest disembarks from that and goes to meet you out in the middle of the arid plain. He reaches out to Neelis. His hand very mechanically stiffens. Hello, I am Postumus Creek, head of security for 71-DX.
Pleased to meet you. I am Nihilus, or Inquisitor Nihilus.
Hello, Inquisitor. And are these your friends? And he looks at the group of people.
Yes, and I introduce all of them to him.
My boss would like to see you at your soonest convenience. Is there anything I can do for you before we head to 71-DX?
Can you give me his name again?
Postumus Creek. Postumus. Kriek.
Wait, what was it? Kriek.
Kriek.
IEK. And he is
Head of security.
for 71DX.
Yes.
Okay. No, let us go see him now. But on our way there, can I use inquiry to kind of see what he knows about what's going on and everything?
You can just talk to him, he's
Okay.
there.
He's right here.
You all board his very nice mechanical chariot, and as the engines thunder to a roar and you begin moving, he turns to Neelis. Have you been brought up to speed on what we've brought you here for?
Yes, I know what's going on, but could you tell me anything more?
Recently, it seems that a few of the locals have been a bit disgruntled with their working environment and have been sabotaging the forges. And we're worried that open rebellion might be on their minds, and so we brought in an Inquisitor to ensure that any rebellion would be stamped out quite quickly, and to find any of these going against the... And he pauses for a split second. Emperor will be brought to justice.
People who oppose the Emperor will be brought to justice? That's what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but he paused. And
But he paused. He did pause. Alright, Danny, let's pick up on the cues here.
Subtlety. Subtlety.
Which I'm not...
not allowed to point those out anymore, by the way.
Nope.
I know.
Pay the fuck attention.
You can point them out, but you have to point them out in character.
Oh, that was weird. Tickle on your throat there. Okay, security.
Anyways, is there anything else that you want to talk to him about in particular?
Yes, hopefully we can bring down these who oppose the God Emperor.
Yes, I hope, or I wish you a swift and safe investigation. I will do all I can to help you, but I have my own troubles at the forges, so I will mostly be confined to 71DX. But if there's anything I can do, please let me or any of my subordinates know.
And what troubles are you having at the other locations?
Well, we're currently playing a bit of defense from these insurgents.
How is your defense stacking up against them?
Fairly well so far. Only one bomb has ever gone off in the forge itself, and that shut down work for 4.3 days as it was being repaired. Beyond that, we have stopped a few other attempts at sabotage, and we're currently having a bit of trouble with the large carnosaurs around.
4.3 days, you said?
Yes.
You guys are very precise.
Of course.
How much damage did this one bomb do, exactly?
It knocked out a melding forge, which was very crucial in the smoldering and casting of metals.
Okay. Have there been any other troubles in any of the other areas? And how exactly did they get a bomb into the factory?
We're still looking in on that. Any other troubles?
Was it a suicide bomber, or was it planted?
It was planted on a servitor. He apparently the servitor was unaware of the bomb's presence, and it was ignited remotely as soon as it entered the forges.
And are the locals working in your forges?
Yes, we employ a decent number of locals.
So do you think it would be the locals that did this? Or could it possibly be someone who is just here to cause a little havoc?
I have a belief that these heathens are to do with it. We've been having a bit of trouble with the Herontis recently.
And how are the Farid doing?
Oh, they are, as always, been more than helpful.
That's right. Okay.
In the distance. It's actually almost on a mountain, because the quarry all around it has been leveled so much that it appears that there is a moat of air around it, and then it comes up into a peak where this city erupts from in giant mechanical spires.
It's actually kind of awesome.
That is 71DX. If you head west of it, you will hit Shishunin, and to the southwest of Shishunin is Loknit.
Okay. Oh, shit. Need to enter more. There we go. Alright, perfect. How much longer on this drive do we have at a character?
About a half an hour, maybe.
Oh, jeez. Alright.
You guys landed a decent distance away.
Yeah. So why weren't we allowed to land in the city? Why did we have to land on the outskirts?
Due to the heightened security, we aren't allowing any shuttles, or especially deorbit vessels, direct access to the city.
Even if it's ferrying an Inquisitor?
Yes, even if it is ferrying an Inquisitor. We do not know if there are anyone outside of the world that wishes to do us harm, and it is of the utmost importance that our forges be kept safe. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
No, it's fine. That makes sense. I'm just wondering, are there any shuttles that are allowed to land in the city, just out of...
The only shuttles we are currently allowing, since the threat began, are security vessels that have been cleared by myself or my subordinates. But nothing coming off-world is allowed to land there.
And you trust all of your subordinates, I assume.
Yes, I would trust them with my life.
Well, good. That's good to hear that you have subordinates that are fairly trustworthy and such.
Do you not? And he looks over your group.
I just don't want to... Oh, I see what he's saying. Of course I do. I would trust any of these with anything. Any of these people with anything.
Very good. I'm sure that being an Inquisitor, you must see all sorts of treachery, but I believe that my people are very good.
Yes, I've been to hell and back with this bunch. Do they know about that in the grim darkness of the far future?
What, hell?
Yeah.
It's called the Warp.
Okay.
It's an actual place. It exists, and it sucks.
Cool.
Although not many people actually know of the Warp. Only kind of like higher echelon people know of it.
Yeah.
And the Ecclesiarchy.
I've seen what it can do.
You have? You've seen a bit of what it can do?
That'd be really nice if I could see other people's character sheets. Roger, do you have Secret Tongue?
No,
Mm-mm.
I'm not allowed that skill.
That's right. You're the one who's not allowed to have that.
I can have ciphers, which means we can go like, and that means something to me.
Yeah.
And absolutely nothing to that asshole, but yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to be quite that overt.
I know. That
But yeah, he can do ciphers, he can't do Secret Tongue. Everyone else can do Secret Tongue.
for some reason.
Okay.
Look, you're part of the Ecclesiarchy. You're not one of the bros yet, alright?
Can I do ciphers? I'm pretty sure I can.
Yeah, but you have to do it to someone who else can do it.
I know. I'm just saying. Like,
I think both you and Frol have Acolyte Cipher. Frol's not there, though.
Yeah.
I just have Secret Tongue.
That's too, baby.
Acolyte?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant. You both have Secret Tongue of Acolyte.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I need to get the ciphers one. I just don't know if I can.
You can. I'm pretty sure you can. Oh, if you can't, then it's really soon.
Ciphers Acolyte. Yes, I can. Perfect.
Okay.
It's 200 though. Damn.
Anyways. Back to the chariot.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you want to know, or do you just want to proceed?
We can just kind of small talk our way.
Okay. You guys make a chit-chat, and he kind of gives you the very basic layout of the city.
Mm-hmm.
The forges generally on the periphery, and as you get towards the center of the city, you hit more of the Mechanicus. Like, the actual Mechanicus is the very heart of the city. Beyond that is the fabrication and those kind of facilities. Then the forges. Then there's the giant wall, and then beyond that is the quarry that puts 71DX on basically the top of a little bastion of a peak, and there is a single very long bridge connecting it to the main land area. So you guys, on your mechanical chariot, go over this very long, maybe half a kilometer long bridge suspended 400 or 500 feet above the actual quarry floor as you make your way into the city of 71DX.
So is this the only bridge that connects the city? This is to the guy. This is in character.
There are two other bridges that connect the city to the surrounding area. One going directly into the quarry on the opposite side of the city, and then there is another one that heads out east to allow for us to go to a larger kind of landing area so we can launch the weapons and other naval accoutrements we've created.
What kind of things are you guys pulling out of the quarry?
Raw materials, iron, samsonite on occasion, carbon, materials such as those generally.
Do you get most of what you need to make the armaments from the quarry, or are you guys pulling stuff off world?
We have to pull many electronical components from stuff off world. This world seems to be very copper poor. But beyond that, as far as the sheer bulk of what we build, we get it from the quarry.
Of the bomb that went off, were you able to analyze it yet?
Yes, we've discovered that it was a very rudimentary device that was created using a mixture of black powder as an ignition source and melta technologies.
So something easily created on world, though crude.
Yes, with the right know-how, it would be very simple to create such a device.
Interesting. Was there anything left of the trigger system?
There was only a small circuit board left from the triggering system that we found on the bomb. We never found the remote for the detonation, no.
Was there anything you could gather from the board?
We only gathered that it was created on world, and that it was a bit more sophisticated than we thought the locals were possible, or than we thought was possible for the local source.
Are we able to see it?
After you've been cleared through, then yes, I will show you everything we've uncovered in our investigation.
Perfect. And I kind of give a glance to Tybalt.
Tybalt looks eager.
Okay.
You guys make your way through the small winding corridors of this Mechanicus city, and actually realize as soon as you've entered the gate that within the spires of this city are all enclosed in a very thin eco-dome of translucent plasteel. It is in fact completely encased and hermetically sealed from the outside. Though, from the outside you couldn't tell such a thing. You make your way through the small, undulating streets until you reach the tower of the Mechanicus, and you debark from your wrought metal chariot and enter, and he leads you into a very cramped foyer, and then eventually into a conference-looking room, many levels up. Sitting within this conference room are a multitude of other tech priests, one looking quite obviously in charge, wearing golden embroidered robes of the Mechanicus, and she sits and looks at you very coldly as you enter the room. Okay, there we go. Creek, is this the Inquisitor? And Creek motions to you and then bows and takes his leave. Inquisitor, what is your name?
Good day. My name is Nihilus, and this is my team of acolytes.
Ah, Nihilus, it is. It was good that you were able to get here so quickly. I was a bit worried at first that it would take longer for the Inquisition to step in. I am Overseer Yoon, and I would like to extend to you a very celebratory hello. And she makes a significant effort to try and smile.
Her name was Loon?
Yun, Y-U-N.
Oh, okay. Not Tune. You.
I hope my security man informed you of our situation.
Yes, thank you for the warm welcome, and he and I spoke on the way over here, and he was quite helpful in getting information.
Very good. I have cleared you for alpha level access to all materials relating to this incident. Your acolytes have been given beta level access to everything relating to this incident.
Ah, perfect. Where can I find the circuit board or any evidence that you guys have recovered in the bombing?
I believe that Krieg is keeping that in his office on the main barracks on the east side of the city.
Okay. Is there any way we could get a map or a layout of the city?
Yes, I will have Krieg supply that for you as soon as possible.
Okay. Perfect. That will help us out very much. Is there anything that you could tell me that Krieg possibly hasn't mentioned yet?
I do not know what he has told you. So far as I have heard, the locals seem to be causing a bit of an insurgency, and I would like to stem this as quickly as possible. Whatever you need, and whatever you believe is best, we will do, as long as we can get back to work.
Do you think the Horrentus and the Farid are working together, or do you think it's just one of the two?
You would have to ask, I already forgot his fucking name. Krieg. You would have to ask Krieg. As far as I am aware, he just believes it is the locals. I'm not sure if he thinks they're working together. They've never really gotten along very well, so I doubt that they're working together.
Okay, well, thank you for allowing us to investigate, and thank you for the clearance.
Yes, of course.
And a bow, and back up, walk out,
Alright.
and try and find Krieg's office.
Well, Krieg is standing right outside the room. He greets you, and so you ask to go to the barracks, and he takes you there. Give me a minute, because I'm gonna draw the map, basically.
Pretty picture.
Ooh, not really. You've seen my drawings.
Pretty picture.
I want more boxes.
Love boxes. But yeah, he takes you to the eastern side of the city, into his barracks, and takes you to the remnants of the bomb, which are comprised of kind of an outer shell that was housing the explosive agents, and a small, very small circuit board that is the remnant of the trigger mechanism. What do you want to do?
Well, really, what is Tybalt gonna do?
What is Tybalt gonna do?
Because he's the tech priest, so he would know more about this kind of stuff than I would, or any of us, really.
Yeah. So Tybalt goes and begins tinkering with the bomb, looking at stuff, and he kind of nods to you like it'll take him a little while, and he'll let you know as soon as he figures out anything that they might have missed.
Okay, well, if Tybalt's doing that, Krieg, can we get over to the bombing site?
Yes, I will take you to the forges. They are on the other side of the city. And you all get in his chariot once again and head over to the massive forge area. And he takes you deep into it towards the outskirts of the city. The closer part to the center is the fabrication area, and the further part of the actual forges, which are still burning quite brightly. As you get closer in, you see that there are less tech priests by the forges and more of the locals and a lot of servitors who appear to have a striking resemblance to the local population. As you get close, the plumes of smoke begin to lightly choke you as the air thins out into very dense smoke. He takes you to one of the very large forges that are currently running at like half capacity. It's not quite as burning quite as bright as the rest of them. This is where we found the explosive. It knocked out a very large chunk of this forge, and he points over to a fairly wide crack that is being currently patched up on the forge plasteel wall. Feel free to have a look around. I have some business I need to attend to, but I will be in the vicinity if you need me.
Okay. Thank you, Creek. Oh, Creek, before you go, could I get your box number in case we need anything?
Ah, yes, of course. And he types it, or he writes it down for you and hands it over. Feel free to contact me whenever you need me.
Okay, and then I exchange mine with his too.
Okay. Go.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go into the site and use scrutiny.
Scrutiny?
Yeah, I'm gonna scrutinize it. Just to see if I can find, I don't know, just a little more information on it, really.
Alright.
Not looking for anything super specific yet. Damn it.
As you look over the site, you seem to be getting a little bit of a... Well, you don't really seem to notice very much about it. You can definitely see where the blast originated from, and the target of the blast seems pretty obvious to you. Beyond that, you can't really pull anything, or you don't really glean anything from the immediate area. You seem to be drawing a lot of attention from the locals, but you're not entirely sure if that's simply because you're not a tech priest, and obviously not from this area, or because of what you're doing.
Okay. Is anyone around me looking like kind of shifty, or are they just kind of all...
They're all just kind of concerned, I guess. You know, they're just interested in what's going on.
Yeah.
They're not shifty, they're just like, who's this guy? What's he doing?
Okay.
It's also probably one of those you break it, they fix it kind of situations.
Yeah.
Be kind of angry too. You're suspicious.
So, just looking around right now, do I see any tech priests?
You see a few, I guess, supervisory tech priests, like basically one per forge, directing it and talking with or communicating to the servitors, and a lot of overhead servo skulls that are flying around that are jumping kind of between each of the forges to deliver messages.
Okay.
Okay, this is like the super rough draft, and I'll make a better map for the next session.
Picture.
But this is the basic layout.
It's weird. It doesn't seem to have any bridges in it.
Just the city.
Bridges?
Okay, fine. You want the bridges? I'll draw the bridges.
I was told there were three bridges, Richard.
Northern Bridge,
Good.
Southern Bridge,
Good.
Northeastern Bridge, or Western
Good.
Bridge.
And which is the one that goes down into the quarry?
North.
Gotcha.
The one by the fabrication centers.
I wish there was a layer that I could draw and that only I could see.
Yeah, the only thing you can draw on is the token layer.
Mm-hmm.
I have the overlay layer, which is real nice, because I can just be like...
Yeah.
Can't see shit. Although you
Does
can
it be
still see
nice?
it if you were cheating.
It'd be nice to make notes on.
Yeah, I know,
Take
right?
a picture of it.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Anyways, there you go.
Cool. Thank you.
I guess I'll type
So-
in, like, where they lead to.
And as we're looking about, how many forges do they have in service?
There's probably like 3 or 4 dozen forges going right now.
Hmm.
They're colossal. Like, the kilns themselves are probably about 60 square meters, and they probably go about 200 or 300 meters high before they actually start dumping out their gas. They are very massive forges. There are smaller ones that also dot the area, but those are the main forges.
The grim dark future. Glory is spelled differently.
Fuck, what was the town?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Roger, you know I can't spell. Accept it.
Just making sure. At least being spelled phonetically.
Yes.
For
Richard doesn't know how to spell things, he spells them phonetically, so at least you can sound out what I'm trying to do.
Let's see. Do we, aside from the tech priests, do we see any kind of like guardsmen?
Well, in the immediate area, there are a very large amount of tech priests that are guarding the area.
Mm.
There's a very significant security presence. Throughout the rest of the forges, it is a bit less, but there is still a significant amount. More so than you saw, like, when you were riding through the rest of the town. But it could just be that they're worried.
Mm.
But yes, there is a significant presence of guards and security forces in the forges right now.
Mm. Mm. As we're looking about, could you describe the common folk that are before us, like their appearance?
It appears that about half of the commoners, a little more than half actually, are dressed in very plain, rural kind of garb. Just very long sleeve shirts, kind of like khaki looking slacks and stuff. Rough kind of tunics and that kind of stuff with like felt hats or something. The other half are dressed a bit more primitively, wearing primarily like looser fitting furs or leathers and such.
There's an odd looking group of people. Hmm. Okay. Of the non-common folk, can we see any like head tech priest or guardsman, like somebody of importance?
Well, you note that like all the tech priests seem to be in a managerial position that are working with the forges. Do you mean like in the security group or?
Just anybody like a supervisor kind of thing.
No, not so much. It just seems like they're basically all seem like they're kind of at an equal level. They just kind of have like a tech priest that manages a single forge.
Mm.
But you, as far as you can see, you can't really tell if there's anyone who's like watching all of them from nearby.
Mm. All right. Well, then I guess I'll turn to Nihilus and go, where would you like to start our search?
Well, it would be nice if we could find someone who was here when it all happened, and maybe if there's like some security footage somewhere.
So we should probably start with the tech priest then, I think.
Probably. That would make the most sense. Tybalt's the only one who has like tech use, right?
Well, anyone can use tech use. He's the only one who put points into it.
Yeah, techies is a basic skill, I think.
Should be.
So everyone can do it. Tybalt's just the best at it.
Okay.
No, that is advanced.
Is it?
This is not on the basic skill sheet. Really, it's on the character one.
Yeah. I don't remember it.
Because I know, like, assassins and stuff, like, a lot of people can use it.
Skills. Yeah, tech use is advanced intelligence.
Then yes, unless someone else got it, Tybalt is the only one who has it.
I think Frawl has it too, not that that helps.
I was just thinking if we go look at security footage, we're not going to be able to, like, recall it.
That's not a tech use test. That's just the fact that he has total recall.
Yeah, we just
that,
tell
but
him.
That's okay. That's true, guys. Alright, well, can we find a tech priest that is, like, in charge?
You look around and you can't distinguish anyone who's in charge. There are just a bunch of tech priests that are a tech priest working each forge, and that's about it.
Okay. And we'll do this the fun way. Richard, I would like to use inquiry to find a supervisor.
Go for it.
Good.
You ask around, and most of the tech priests basically say, "No, I'm in charge of this forge." And there seems to be some miscommunication between you and them. They're basically trying to imply that they're in charge of this single forge, and you're trying to ask who's in charge of all of the forges. But you really just don't get anywhere.
I'm gonna step in.
It's really annoying, the semantics that you have to deal with. You know. Yes, Niels?
I'm gonna step in. Look, who's in charge of everything here?
That would be Yoon.
Yeah. Okay, then who's in charge of just the forge area? Like, who is your supervisor?
We don't have a specific supervisor. I suppose the intermediary between us and the tower would be Mordax Harlan.
There we go. And where can I find this Mordax Harlan?
Either on the western side of the forges, or he is in the Mechanicus Tower.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. And where did you say we could find him again?
Either the tower or on the western side of the forge. Close to
Okay.
the tower, basically.
We should go to the western side of the forge.
Good. So you head in towards the Mechanicus Tower, leaving the mass forges for the more small and specialized ones. As you enter the area, you see a few tech priests all kind of convened in one little spot, chatting amongst themselves, handing off data pads and discussing things with servo skulls and each other.
Okay. Does anyone know where I can find Mordax Harland?
One of the tech priests raises his hand. I'm Mordax. What can I do for you?
May I speak to you?
We are currently
Over
speaking.
here. Sorry. I know that kind of came across as really stupid.
Yes, sure. And he turns to the rest of his group. I bid you goodbye, and he walks towards the direction that you pointed in.
He's kind of socially awkward, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fine.
He's a tech priest. Yeah.
That's true. They're all kind of socially awkward.
This is the best part of my job. I get to be a bunch of socially awkward fucks. Oh yeah.
God,
Fuck
Jared
that
should
thing.
play a tech priest.
Also, my headphones fell out, so that's the best part. What'd you say?
I said Jared should play a tech
He
priest.
should. Everyone should play tech priests. They don't even have to roleplay. They're just like, I don't know what to do. Anyways,
is it more proper to call someone by their first name or by their last name or by their full name?
depends. Generally, if it's a business relationship, you want to talk to people by their last name. If it's interpersonal, you kind of want to do it by the first name. If it's someone of nobility, you'd want to use their full name. And if it's someone of great stature, you would generally refer to them strictly by their title.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good luck.
Alrighty then.
This goes for real life, too.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. President.
Sup, Barack?
And that's how I got arrested.
Oh, pretty much. Danny was sent to Guantanamo.
5 seconds later, the FBI was outside my door.
Grim darkness. Right now. Anyways.
Hello, Harland. I am Nihilus. I am Inquisitor Nihilus here to investigate the happenings of the locals and the Forge area.
Oh my, an
Stuck
Inquisitor.
my hand. Too shaky.
What can I do for you, Inquisitor? And he jerks out his hand and he takes yours very kind of gently and then shakes it really hard. But with a very loose grip.
Oh.
No, it's more like he's like that, and he just like, kind of grabs your hand and then just to the point where you kind of like, you're not really grabbed, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
Inquisitor, what can I do for you?
I was wondering if we could get any... I was wondering if there were any security feeds in the Forge, and if there is any... was it going during the bombing?
The forges go all night, but you would have to talk to Creek to see if he's decrypted any of the security feeds. I heard that there was some problem with the PICT sensors that night.
Oh, that's interesting to know. Were you around when the bombing occurred?
Yes, I'm always here.
What was happening beforehand? Was it just normal, regular old day?
Yes, beforehand, many of the forges were running iron. They were at a 12% not corruption. What's the word?
Efficiency?
No, not the forge. Like, it was tarnished by 12%. Like, it wasn't pure iron. It was diluted, I guess. At a 12%.
Impurity?
Yes, 12% impurity. We were attempting to refine it to 7% or less, so we could use it for the ship weapons that we were fabricating that day. Everything was proceeding ahead of schedule. It was a good day. It's like if Jeff Goldblum was a tech priest.
Right.
That's what I'm doing right now. It's good.
What exactly were the weapons for? Like, were they for a specific fleet, or were you guys just pumping out weapons?
I believe they were for the Ultramarines, or one of the other Arbitrace flotillas. Though I am not entirely sure where they all end up.
Okay, well, was anyone killed or injured in the bombing?
Yes, there were many who died. I believe it was
Wow,
close to
okay.
40 or 50 people.
How about injuries? Is there anyone still alive? And
I was minorly injured when a hot piece of iron collided with my chest.
wow, he just puts it out there. I was kind of like low, like, did anyone die? And he's like, yeah, 40 to 50 people did. What did you see right as it went off?
There was a calamitous explosion and lots of limbs flying everywhere.
God.
I was afraid that some of the steel would be lost, but we recovered 98% of it.
He's all business. Did you see? How am I gonna put this? Where exactly and how exactly did the bomb go off?
I believe it
And
went off
did you,
by a...
Did you see if there was someone there, like a couple seconds beforehand, or?
I was not in the immediate explosion's vicinity. I only know what Creek has told me, and the security forces have gathered. I was 3 forges due west of the
Do you know
explosion.
anyone who was nearby that survived?
No, I believe everyone in near sight of it died. Perhaps one of the Farid workers in the area may have seen something, but beyond that, I can't be sure. And as you're talking to him, a servo skull kind of rushes in, and he grabs it and kind of inserts a data pad, and it takes off and flies away again.
Let's see. Mordax, have you heard anything of the bomb yet?
I have heard nothing other than it was, I believe, a Melta weapon. Although that seemed quite evident from the destruction it left behind.
Where exactly could someone get a Melta weapon on planet?
Beyond the Mechanicus shops or fabrication centers, I'm not entirely sure, though I've heard talk of black and gray markets popping up recently amongst the locals. I believe Creek has been trying to squash down on such things, but I'm afraid it is not going too well.
Are Melta armaments something you guys manufacture here on this world?
We occasionally manufacture Melta cannons for the ships, but no, in general we tend to fabricate armors.
So nothing on the scale that would have been used in the explosions.
It would not have taken very much for this sort of explosion. It is very possible that everything was developed on this world for it. It was not a massive destruction, which is why it was localized to a single forge.
But it was enough to shut you guys down for a couple days.
Only the single forge. We were back to work within the minute on the other forges. We run a very efficient forge.
Yeah, quite efficient, I would say, if you are up and running within a couple minutes. Well, I will talk to Krieg about getting those videos, and thank you for your help.
Of course, if there's anything else you need, please let me know. I will be around. And he kind of eyes Garvel and then turns and walks away.
Garvel's already drunk.
I just know it. I just know I'm gonna turn around and he's gonna be drunk.
He's gonna be sweating profusively.
Walls tasteless.
I am going to Vox Creek.
Okay.
Creek, this is Nihilus.
Yes, Nihilus. What can I do for you?
Do we have anywhere that we're staying?
We currently have not got any, we haven't had any indication that you were staying here. I can put you up for a few nights in one of the Farid lodges if you'd like, until we can find you a suitable location to stay here.
Is there any way, you know what? That'll work. And is there any way I could get a locker or something in the...
Yes, I will empty out a locker in my office that you can use.
Perfect, thank you. Can we meet somewhere and discuss our...
Meet me in my office.
Yes. Okay, I will be there shortly.
Alright. And he cuts the Vox.
Yay. So we go to his office.
So you guys make your way over to his office. One of you make a perception check.
Who has higher perception?
Alright, Neil, let's make a perception check.
34.
Oh, mine's 33. I did it, so whatever.
Neilus, as you leave the forges and are kind of walking past the Mechanicus Tower, you notice some people that are wearing the kind of civilian garb of the, you know, the kind of like rough spin tunic-y kind of stuff. Yeah. They seem to be eyeing you, and after about a block or two, they seem to be following you, though after you turn around a third time to verify that they are gone. And that will be one of the last times I actually ask you to do a perception check for that. You guys now just get to be like, I want to roll perception while we go between these places. Unless there's something specific that I need you to see, or it's something that's so obvious you would probably see. That's the only time I'm going to ask you to actually roll perception. Anytime you're like, I might be being followed, you're going to have to do it.
Okay.
Although, I'm going to generally be nice, and if you get to a world where you might be followed, I'll probably do this, where I'm just like, this is the first time, after this you know you might be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, you guys make your way to Creek's office. And he is sitting behind the desk, typing on a datapad. Neelis, what can I do for you?
So first off, where are we being... We need to figure out where we're going to be staying the night.
Yes, I sent a servitor to the Burns. They are in the Farid village, Beta Decks. They will keep you and your company housed for the next 5 days or so.
Perfect. And how long of a trip is it from here?
It is about a half of an hour.
And how long is it to the nearest Herantis settlement?
From the city, it is about an hour and a half.
Okay. Fair enough. And one last thing is I spoke to Mordax Harland at the Forge about security video, and he said that they were acting up that night, and I should speak to you about to see if you've decrypted them yet.
Yes, a large majority of them were completely shut off, and a few of them appear to have been corrupted. We have our head tech priests working on seeing what images they can get out of it.
Have you gotten anything so far?
No, as far as I've heard, they are still working on it. I will let you know as soon as we find anything.
Yes, please do that. Well, there is a slight possibility that I may be out of the picture for the next day or two, so if you do need anything, Stubber here, and I motion to him, is who I will direct to you.
Very
just
good.
The trip down, I'm feeling a little bit under the weather.
I'm sorry to hear that. And he reaches his hand out to Stubber. It will be my pleasure to work with you, Cleric.
Yay. Okay, well, we are going to head off to Beta Decks to figure out what our situation is going to be for the next few days here. And please let me know if you get those videos decrypted.
Yes, I will. And he hands you a couple of small, chits. Please keep these on your person. They are identifying chits that will allow you to move throughout the city unrestricted.
Okay, cool, thank you. And then I also give him Stubber's Fox number, and I say if I don't answer, just call him.
Okay. Very well, I will.
Yay. And then we leave, go to Beta Decks.
You leave, and you guys make your way down to Beta Decks. As you get there, it is a very kind of picturesque rural community. There's definitely some influence of the tech priests. There are some buildings that are made out of plascrete and have cogs and gadgets and little mechanical things moving on them, and some automatic doors, but for the most part they are fairly simple wooden buildings, much like kind of like an Amish communities kind of feel. It's very, very picturesque. It reminds you of Acreage, in fact, Neelis, and your agrarian upbringing.
Aww, it's cute.
There is a very, well, I say very, about a 3-story church in the center of town. The town itself is very small. It may only hold about 5,000 to 10,000 people. Farmlands flanking it in all directions. There's a small, there's on Main Street, everything is on the main street. There's just a market and the inn. There's a couple of inns, and you know which one you're going to.
How far away from the spaceport, and are we able to see the spaceport from here?
You are unable to see the space. You mean where you landed?
Yeah.
You are unable to see where you landed. You estimate if you made your way out through the farmlands and lightly forested area, it would probably take you maybe a half an hour to get there.
Okay. Really, I'm wondering if we can see ships landing and taking off.
You probably could. There aren't any currently, since you've got there. But yeah, you probably, if you were looking out for it, you could see it.
Okay.
Obviously, depending on the size of the ship. If it was like a small drop pod, you probably wouldn't see it.
Right.
But if it was, like an actual shuttle, you would be able to see it. Anyways, you make your way into the main street of town. There are many people on horseback pulling wagons of wheat and vegetables and other such things through town.
Okay. Have we arrived at the hotel?
You make your way to the Burns Inn.
Inn. Okay.
And open the door and are greeted by a very tall and stout, I guess, man. Very thickly built man. Hello, I'm Bragg Burns. What can I do for you?
One sec. What's up?
Nothing. Just, playing Dark Heresy.
Not me? Oh. Okay.
Ah, sorry. My mom needed something. Sorry. What are you doing? Richard, what is that face?
Anyways. You ready?
Yes.
Hello, I'm Bragg Burns. What can I do for you?
Hi, I'm Nihilus, and we should have a room here.
Yes. Your company all have the second floor. There are 6 rooms. I believe that will be enough for you.
Oh, that will be plenty. Thank you.
No, thank you. It is nice to have the Mechanicus's coin.
Well, you're welcome for that, and I don't know how long we're staying, but we'll see how much coin we can get you.
Well, they've bought the second floor for the week, so thank you very much, sir.
Wow, okay.
You must be someone of great import. Is there anything me, my wife, or daughter can do for you?
The only thing I really need to know is there a terminal in the room that is usable?
There is a terminal in the common room, if you wish to use it.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'll step in real quick. Do you guys know how to make scones?
I believe my wife might know how to make scones. Are they a favorite of yours?
Yes. It is actually something we have not had the pleasure of enjoying in a while, and it is a favorite amongst our party.
Oh, very good. I will go out and ask her to buy some blueberries to make some scones with if she's up to it.
Most excellent.
Is there anything else that I can do for you or your party?
Well, just direct us to our rooms.
Very good. And he gets out from behind his little desk and you all follow him up the stairs, and it's basically just a very kind of single hallway with doors on either side, and he just motions, to all of the rooms, and you each pick out your individual rooms.
Okay. What was his name again?
Bragg.
Bragg?
Bragg Burns.
Bragg Burns. Perfect. Okay. Bragg, before you go, is there any shops around here, specifically clothing?
Yes, I believe Dacius has his shop holds clothing. There's also Trollus Kent. His store is more for general goods, but he might also have clothing.
What was the first guy's name?
Dacius? Well, Daecis. It's Decius, so that would be pronounced.
Okay. Alright, well, thank you very much, Bragg, and I shake his hand and then close the door.
Close the door on the hallway.
Yep.
Get the fuck out.
Yes, and he leaves. Heads back downstairs.
Okay. So, are we all in our individual rooms right now?
As far as I know, you were all just hanging out in the hallway.
Oh, okay. So,
But we can have it, like, everyone's basically just putting their... The doors are all open, they're just putting their stuff away.
yeah. Can everyone come to my room quickly? Or, actually, Stubber, would you mind coming here quickly?
Sure, Nihilus.
Stepper enters the room.
Only one here.
Hey, bud.
Hey, buddy.
You're not my type. What can I do for you?
The very Manilow begins to echo through his chamber.
So, and I'm gonna close the door, and then can I scrutinize the room for any audio or, like, video devices? Or would that be a
I think that's a
search?
search. Scrutiny is... It's more like scrutiny for, like, you see, like, an item or a thing.
Yeah, and you
wanna
want to know
look
more
at
about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, I passed it, but...
You look around, and as far as you tell, you can't see any kind of audio or video recording devices in the
Okay.
room.
Just regular old hotel room.
Yeah. Just looks like
All
a
right.
fairly well kept hotel room.
Okay. So, I know back there in... Come on, notes. Okay, so I know in Krieg's office I said I was going to be under the weather, and for the record, I'm not feeling crappy at all, other than my head is still freaking killing me from that trip down. I am going to go out and see if I can find someone who can make me a bomb.
Bomb, you say? Nihilus, that
Yes.
seems like a dangerous thing to be playing with.
Well, for the next couple days, I'm not going to be Nihilus.
What on earth are you getting at?
Terra.
Well,
What on Terra?
I think I'm gonna strip all of the inquisitorial stuff for the next couple days and see if I can go find someone who can get this done for me. See if I can maybe get a job. Not a job, but I mean try and get in with the Herantis and just be a guy who needs something done.
So your ploy is to try to replicate and or find the same person that made the bomb.
Exactly.
Interesting game you play, sir. Interesting.
Which is why I told Krieg that you would be the one to contact if he needed anything.
Yeah. In the off chance that he sends somebody to survey the hotels, what are we to do?
Haven't really thought about him coming all the way out here, and they all are tech priests, and I don't really think they would leave the area that they're comfortable with.
True, but a servo skull could easily come to a window and see an empty bed.
This is true. Do you have a plan for something like this? Or any ideas?
Normally I would say we could just stick Garvel in your place, but that might involve a lot of heavy drinking, and he might give.
That might actually work though, because if he's schmammered, he might actually look sick.
Careful, we got the best job in the world for you right now. We're gonna get you fucked, son.
That might work. We should, however, try to obscure the window.
There are blinds.
Okay.
Like white cloth blinds.
Cloth.
Well, we can also hang a blanket over it if need be, just because I do like the darkness of our future.
Okay. I think if you really wanted to pull their leg, we find somebody sick in the village and put them in your bed and get them to pay for a doctor.
For a doctor to come to the room?
Mm-hmm.
We could do that, but then we risk word getting out unless someone is so incredibly excited to be housed for a day.
Well, given the nature of this community, I don't think they see doctors very often. We have to bribe the doctor, of course.
Of course.
But free healthcare is nice.
Thanks, Obama. Yeah.
That's if
that
you'd really
might
want to.
work.
So if you really want to try to convince him, we could just move you to a inner room and not have any windows and just bolt the door.
We could do that. That might work.
There aren't any inner rooms. It's a hallway with rooms on either side.
Okay.
Isn't it fancy?
Well, bribing a doctor to come to an empty room. Or, you know what? The plan of getting someone from the outside world, possibly homeless so they don't have any ties to anybody, that might work. And then they would be pretty... I'm sure they'd be into being housed in a nice warm bed for a few days, and then we could just bolt up the room, block off the windows. That might
Well,
work.
Whatever seems easier for your plan.
And that would give me access to really ruddy clothes, which is exactly what I need.
It would. Complete with an authentic smell.
Exactly. I think this just might work. Well, if you and, I don't know, maybe somebody else want to go out and find someone who's willing to do this with us, I'm also probably going to need a lot of money, but not just yet. If I want to be convincing about this bomb plan, we'll have to ease right into it instead of just, hey.
So bomb?
Yeah.
Ah, bomb. Alright, so what are we doing?
So we're finding a homeless person.
Yes.
Sick.
Good.
Good. What's the approximate time?
Local time, it is probably about 4 or so in the afternoon.
really? So it's not even dark yet. Rural village. Okay. Nihilus, I'll let you scheme a little bit more and see if I can find out more of our surrounding. See if I could find a bar, some other place
Okay,
where the lowlifes hang.
that sounds good.
Um,
I don't really want my face to be seen out in public in Imperium garb.
I might be able to help with that. I do have these robes you could wear.
You want to look like a cleric?
Oh.
Unless
Suppose
you
I-
absolutely want to stay in the shadows.
I feel like it would be best, and I'll be watching the spaceport for new arrivals, which is when I will probably make my move over to the Herantis
Hold on, this.
settlement.
Mm.
But this will be all done tomorrow. But yeah, I suppose I could go out with you tonight.
Okay. I guess just to be on the safe side, I'll give you this and derobe myself and give it to him.
So what are you wearing?
My armor.
Good.
I always kind of assumed it was over my armor.
Alright.
No.
Usually
Yes.
it's just one or the other, but yeah, okay. Fair enough. So Neelis
Okay.
is now naked, except for the robes. No armor, basically.
Sure.
Well, I'm assuming there's clothing under the armor.
So you're gonna be a homeless dude that wears a full set of flak armor.
No, I'm saying, like, I have no armor, but, like, you wear clothes under the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying right now, since you're wearing his ecclesiarchy robes, you're not wearing armor as well, right? I
Right.
just want to know. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like that's gonna go over well. No, I'm homeless.
No, really. I am. Shotgun falls.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Tish, 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 tish. I mean, still homeless.
Is that a grenade that he dropped?
Nope.
Yeah, pretty much the only things I'm gonna have on me are gonna be my brass knuckles.
Okay.
That makes sense with robe.
Well, but those are concealable.
Yes.
Anyways, so what are you guys gonna do?
Alright. Well then, I suggest we go out and drag Garvel along with us.
Yes,
Make us
Garvel will probably
fit
get us.
in anywhere.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll walk out of the room and talk to the rest of the party. I guess before we leave, I'll go up to Tybalt. Tybalt, what have you learned from the board that we acquired?
Oh, the circuit board.
Yes.
And he tells you that the explosive detonator would have had to been a very high frequency radiance mission from a short range, somewhere within about 150 meters.
So, do you think we're looking for somebody with a microbead or vox caster? Something more rudimentary, maybe?
It could be legitimately anything. It could be a very rudimentary thing, or they could have used a microbead or vox system.
But you're unsure.
Yes, it's all he knows is that it's a high frequency radio transmission. which means it probably wasn't a Vox, but it could be a microbead or a radio of any technological scale.
Good.
And he gives you a general, like, about 500 hertz area that he believes that was the triggering frequency.
Interesting. Tybalt, Craig mentioned that he thought that this device was too advanced for the people of this world. What are your thoughts?
It seems unlikely that very primitive peoples would be able to do this, but anyone with even a rudimentary knowledge of like electronics would be able to at least create this kind of aspect of it. As far as the actual device, he's not sure.
So you believe it's more likely a tech priest had a hand in this?
Not necessarily, but they would be more apt to have the technological know-how.
Interesting insight. Well, if you happen to find more about the device,
He'll let you
let us
know.
know.
And he awkwards his way away from you.
Good. Probably trying to eyeball people outside of the window. Cat call.
Hey, baby! You look so fine, you could be sororitas.
Oh my god.
Baby, look at this full head of hair.
Finally grew it back.
Complete with a set of eyebrows. Alice, you want to talk to anybody else? I figure we're just going to drag Garble. He's not going to require
Yeah.
any kind of coercing.
Yeah, I'm not talking to anybody else.
Okay. Then I guess we'll go go downstairs and talk to or find Bragg.
Alright. Bragg is kind of towards the kitchen. He's standing in the kitchen door talking with his very small daughter. She's probably about 5 or so.
Okay. Bragg, when you get a moment,
And he turns. Excuse me, honey. And yes, what can I do for you, cleric?
Bragg, we're hoping to get a drink for my friend here. He's a little thirsty.
Well,
That bitch is thirsty.
the general market, the one that I told you Kent owns, there's a tavern in it. That is generally where the townsfolk meet up.
This may sound a little unusual. Is there anywhere where the lower people might hang?
The vagrancy?
The kind of place my friend prefers. Vagrants and nomad sorts.
Do you mean as in the ruffians, or?
Of the sorts, sure.
Well, we do our best to keep them out of our town. They tend more to head towards the Herontis settlement. We try and keep our town pretty clean of that. There is a small amount of vagrancy around the church as they take in people on occasion.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you for your time. I guess we will stop by the general market and see if my friend likes the atmosphere.
Very good. I think you will find it quite pleasing. If you have anything else that you need, please let me know.
That'll do. Thank you, good sir.
And he turns around and goes back to talking to his daughter.
Bastard, I was done talking. All right, then I guess we'll go to the general market.
As you leave, his daughter runs out after you guys, about like maybe 30 seconds later, and catches up to you as you're walking down the street, and she stops and she tugs at Neelis's robes.
Yes, little girl.
I overheard you guys were looking for meaner kind of people.
Yes.
Daddy didn't want me to tell you, but there's a lot of people that gather around for card games by the lake, and she points kind of westward.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for those kind of people, they might be over there. And then she just kind of like runs away.
Oh. I look over to Stubber and Garvel. Well, should we try there?
People that are more apt to play games might take more to bribe.
Yes, but we could find somebody over there who's possibly just lost everything.
But if they find out your rank, they might want to exploit that. I mean, it's an option, but it's not the first one I would want to take.
Right. Well, how would they find out my rank? I'm not really dressed as the part.
True. But we will have to bring him back to the hotel.
This is true.
Aww.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, where do you think we should go first then?
The tavern, and we'll ask around from there.
Okay. And if we can't find anything there, shall we head over to the card games? I mean, what time is it right now?
5 or so.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming as it gets later, more people will head to the card games.
For the time being, we might be able to find out something at the tavern, or if there are some needy people at the church, they might benefit from what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I didn't think about the church.
The clerics on a world much like this one should be taking care of the local populace in many different ways. But for now, the tavern is the place to start.
Alright, I would agree with that. We should go head over there then.
Alright, and we will do that after coming back from like a 5-minute break.
Yay!
Because we're at about an hour and 40 minutes. So,